Yeah, you left it on a cliffhanger again.
Oh, of course. Always the best place to leave it. All right. Almost ready, and then we'll kick off.
I just fucked my view up. What? Well, that's good. I could have had an even more convoluted way of doing this by logging into Discord on my PC, dragging my freestanding mic over next to me across my sofa, and then plugging these earphones into my mic as the output. I thought, no.
I mean, that is getting convoluted, isn't it?
Yeah. It's convoluted as it is.
Yeah. Okay. So I am just looking for the garnet. 36. Cool. All right. So where were we last session? Oh, you'll be glad to know you're about 2/3 of the way through the book, actually. Yeah, less than 100 pages to go. 2/3 of the way through the book. Okay. So, and I bet you still haven't a clue what's going on, have you?
No.
It's a clue.
I'm expecting us to get kidnapped now and taken to this weird planet. But
yeah, you have absolutely no idea what is going on. Okay, so last session very much focused on you all. Well, apart from Carver, I'm gonna guess Seaboard's not joining us tonight again. Anyway, Carver and the Varga spending time in their rooms on board the Glisten Pearl, a large cruise liner that has been hired has been hired by Aish, the guy that you met in the museum several months previous, who you had discovered had been meeting Bernadetta and her crew on a regular basis. Bernadetta and the crew bringing various items that she claimed were ancient artifacts, should I say, to his museum. The Captain of Knowledge, as he self-styles himself, the most preeminent ancients hunter in the whole of the sector, had invited you to attend a conference. Mostly you gather over the last few days because you are the current owners/occupants of the Garnet, the ship that Bernadetta flew and has some rather interesting history tied up with the ancients themselves. For a few days, you spent time traveling the system of Aki, where you went out to one of the gas giants to examine the rings and see the beautiful scenery, etc., and to undertake the conference. You met a number of people at the conference. You met Vlen, you met Vincentia, you met Arjun, you met Jessica, and you met Zenua. One of the things you discovered, and you met the captain of knowledge, Aish. One of the things you discovered is that different people have different theories about the ancients. There doesn't seem to be a singular narrative around the ancients, and nobody can really agree whose side is correct. And actually, often it seems he who shouts the loudest and prevents others from talking has the prevailing argument at that time. As the conference went on and you got to meet people like Glenn Beckett a little bit more detail, you learned that he knew Blanca, he knows Bernadetta, he knows of the Garnet. At no point would he ever say anything negative about any of the other delegates, nor trash any of their positions. And a couple of occasions, the captain of knowledge had tried to tried to use Vlen's neutrality, if you like, to further one of his own theories. As the conference was winding up towards it's the end of its third or fourth day, probably fourth day actually, you were invited to a conference topic that was to be held by the captain of knowledge, where he had basically explained or started to explain that the text of Twilight's Peak. One of the things that I probably didn't go over enough is he was waving some actual manuscript papers during his conversation, and kept kind of waving them at you, talking about the contents of the original manuscript of the Twilight's Peak. He was kind of going through the story of Twilight's Peak and kind of trying to demonstrate, you think he was building up to making some kind of statement related to the content of the Twilight's Peak. But before he got chance to, the urgent signal sounded on the ship's intercom, and the announcement, all passengers and crew, do not be alarmed. We are about to be boarded by personnel from an Imperial Navy vessel. You are in no danger. Please cooperate fully. I repeat, you are in no danger. At that point, a number of the crew kind of pass into the conference room, which is kind of this big viewing area here. If we go to the actual map, which is where we were, let me unpause again. So this is a viewing area. So you were kind of all in there with the big views out of the front of the ship and almost 360 views around you. And a number of the crew kind of come in into the area. And then a few moments later, kind of across the front of the ship, you see what appears to be a large light cruiser-sized vessel. Those of you who have kind of spent time in the Imperial Navy sort of recognize that its silhouette is something akin to a Gianetti class, though it has bulges in places that they don't normally have, and it's a lot sleeker and more dangerous. A second ship in the same class sort of stands off a little bit further away, and you can see at least 5 destroyer-sized vessels kind of lingering in the area. A faint tremor suggests that a ship has docked with you. And again, a few moments later, the commanding officer on the intercom: all passengers, please accept our apologies for the interruption. A customs and spaceworthiness boarding is now in progress. All passengers will be subject to routine questioning. Do not be alarmed. You are in no danger.
Can I presume from the fact that no danger has been mentioned multiple times and that probably more than half the local fleet have turned up just for us and also sporting some of the most latest technology that the Empire has
Yep.
just rocked up? This is not a normal search.
The ships are definitely more advanced than you have seen, yes. Normal search? I mean, the Imperial do have the right to stop and board ships. So it could
They
be...
do, but they wouldn't rock up with this amount of resource.
The number... Right, okay. So the number of resources...
We're a big ship, though, aren't we? So
Yeah, smaller than them, I bet.
number of ships that have rocked up are definitely way beyond what a normal patrol
Space
boarding
worthiness check.
would warrant. On top of that, I mean, these ships look something you would expect to see them acting as the bodyguard of the Emperor himself.
Yeah, they're like, as I said, they're
that means
most
they found
advanced
out that
ships
I'm on
in the
board.
Navy, and they are special forces type.
They're definitely very advanced, yes. Anything you wish to do?
Who else is in the Navy?
I was in there.
I was Marines.
I'll just note to my fellow Navy companions that my suspicions. This is highly unusual.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
I wouldn't
Marine.
expect that here for this task.
that type of ships I was probably pushed out of over planets. That's as much as I'd have probably known about them.
Well,
It's almost like
that tech is tip of the spear.
it's almost like we've got to a quarantine zone and they're trying to stop us from going into it.
Would I know anything about these type of ships from the rank that I got into? Like, would I have heard rumors or anything being mentioned from the Marines' point of view? Because we might have been stationed on some of them for certain missions type thing. So I was fairly high rank.
You were indeed a fairly high rank. Give me an int check, please. Before you do that, I'm just going to close. While you're doing that, I'm just going to close down chat. There we go. Blank out chat.
I hit Admiral just before leaving.
Yeah, likewise. give me an int check.
I'm assuming average.
Yeah, average is good.
I may as well try because I was in the Navy.
In the Navy, you got served. Mushy
pilot
peas.
and engineer.
Lance Corporal, I'm not going to do anything.
In check is there.
Holy
Nice.
shit.
Not my best.
Look at that exceptional success.
I recognise that registration number.
It's your old ship.
Nope.
Okay, so Hoshiko, Marcus, Hoshiko in particular. Everything about this ship screams top of the line, special forces. Not to mess with them.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, you have heard, certainly, maybe not Marcus. Marcus, so you've never served on a ship like this before. However, Marcus, I'm going to go back to Hoshiko. Something crosses your mind. You remember a briefing that you sort of came across not long before you exited your service, talking about an Imperium-wide organization responsible or reporting directly to the emperor himself. I presume it's an emperor. It's imperial, so it would be an emperor, wouldn't it?
The Imperial family.
The imperial family, yeah. Yeah, the guy that sits in a chair that's fed 3,000 psychers every day. Oh, no, that's the wrong Imperium of man.
Yeah.
That's a
I just
different
presume
impact.
because of the scale of the empire, there's probably quite a number of these people.
Yeah. It is an organization that, for all intents and purposes, does not exist, but does seem to have access to some of the most advanced technology. It's almost like an organization that's given all the good shit decades before the rest of the Navy ever sees it. And the organization had a name that was whispered amongst very senior officers called Omicron Division.
I'll keep my suspicions on that to myself.
And Marcus, there is a group, there is a rumor of a group that exists within the Imperium that are interested in finding people like yourself
I knew you were going to say that.
and dealing with them.
Okay.
And you suspect this might be them.
Yeah.
This might be,
So
it's a hand in your head kind of situation.
yeah. So when I joked last week that I'd created a new character, it's getting closer and closer. Right. Okay.
I will suggest that these guys probably don't follow normal Navy protocols. They may do, but I don't think they have to.
Yeah. I think I'm screwed.
You're all kind of just stood in that, sat in the observation deck, kind of all looking around.
Question. When
yeah.
we came on here, we were told we couldn't have guns on us. Could have guns on us. What?
Pistols.
Could only have pistols.
Okay, I'll be checking the slide on the heavy pistol.
Doing that, one of the crew members, one of the senior crew members, kind of comes over to you and sort of says, "I wouldn't be doing that if I was you, sir."
Gun maintenance.
I think we're going to be outgunned.
Gun maintenance is essential.
It is, but keep it in your holster for a while, please. We don't want this to get out of hand. And he looks around. After a few more moments, you hear booted like boots, and then into the big area where you are wanders in 6 individuals. One of which appears to be a middle-aged woman, probably in her early 30s, carrying the rank of lieutenant. Followed behind her is one other individual, a man, seems to have a rather weird sort of hood that kind of comes up off his armor and up over his head. The other 4 are heavily armed and armored, wearing what is akin to heavy battle armor, carrying accelerator rifles or the equivalent thereof. I'm making this up. Hang on, I'm getting my games confused. Give me a second.
Gauss rifles.
There would be Gauss. Well, I don't even know that they'll come in Gauss rifles. I think they're so arrogant that they just come in with very, very heavy gear. They're not actually detailed. That's how nasty they are. They have no stats. So, yeah, it's probably Ghost
I've got
Rifle.
nothing to fear then. We could be as
Yeah.
big a dicks as we want there.
Yeah. Are you
0
sure
hit
you wanna-
points.
Are you sure you want to go down that route? I would have to make something up very quickly. Yeah, it's probably the equivalent of Gauss rifles, something along those lines. Yeah, Gauss rifles, 4 dice. Yeah, that'll do. AP5, auto 3 scope. Yeah, they've probably got those. And the guards just kind of loiter near the entranceway. And this woman kind of comes in and she smiles at everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? None of you are under arrest. None of you are wanted, as far as we know. However, we are here to conduct personal interviews with each of you. If you submit to our routine questioning, there is no danger to you. Anybody who wishes to make a fuss, then be aware we are not tolerant of threats. Now,
Do I know what statute they're using to do this? Is there a known one?
Well, I mean,
Or
customs
is it
and
just
space.
but they're
Yeah.
not, are they?
Customs and spaceworthiness is you can be questioned under customs and spaceworthiness.
But that
Under
isn't that's not the passengers. Customs
anybody.
worthiness would be the owners, wouldn't it? And the crew.
It could also be passengers as well, but yes.
Of course.
There isn't a problem, of course.
Yet.
Well, that we know of. We don't know the other people very well.
Well, she just said none of us are wanted.
Yet.
True.
There's actually no reason until we conduct an interview. Therefore, they've got no cause to do what they're doing, and they've got no warrant as such.
I'm more worried about the hooded guy.
I couldn't give a fuck
Yeah.
about that.
That's the one I'm worried about. No.
It's probably a telepath.
Yeah, you haven't got anything to worry about. It's me that's got something to worry about.
Oh, we
I
burnt you
don't
age.
know
We
whether
burnt you
you've
age
got
to
anything
go.
to worry about. Therefore, I'm not
No.
worried. I couldn't give 2 fucks.
He's a witch. Burn him. Burn him.
She kind of smiles and she sort of says, "Now, the sooner we get this over and done with, the quicker you can all go on with your days."
I'd suggest you start then.
I will. Okay, so they're going to go around each of the passengers one by one, pulling each of them off into a room that has been hastily made available to this lieutenant. The captain of knowledge kind of stands in front of one of the soldiers and just berates him for 20 minutes. Basically kind of demanding that he speaks to an officer, a warrant, a noble, anybody besides these grunts. And he uses the word grunts on a number of occasions. At no point does the soldier, I mean, the soldier's visor is down and kind of gun is down in front of him, but at no point does he flinch, does he raise a fist, does he comment or respond. And then eventually he is kind of just kind of winds off into a sort of a, just tails off into nothingness and just stands there looking frustrated. All the while this is gone.
Sorry, saying the captain of knowledge was the dickhead, wasn't it? It's not the guy we brought.
No,
was
the
the other
captain of
one, wasn't
knowledge. The captain of knowledge was the dickhead. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he was the one that declared himself captain.
he's the one.
Yes.
Yes,
We brought somebody else to piss him off.
you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. You brought Refem.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got two choices. I can interview you each individually, but obviously you're going to hear all the questions. Or we can interview you as though you're being interviewed differently, individually, and I will ask one of you a question, and you're answering, well, for your character. And if anybody disagrees with the answer, you would respond with your disagreement, and you're answering that way for your character. It's up to you. Basically, do you want me to interview all of you individually, one at a time, or do it as a group? Oh, sorry. Let me pause for a second. Let me come back. Think about that for a second. However, she sort of, as she explains what she's going to do, and she sort of says, each of you will be taken off. You'll be interviewed individually. We're merely determining your reasons for being here. That this is a routine stop and check. We are exercising our authority as Imperial Navy to interview not just the crew, but also the passengers. Now, I appreciate that that might be a little bit unusual and not something that often happens, though I can console yourselves with the knowledge that I am authorized to do so. I have several other officers at my disposal, and so we will do the routine questioning as quickly as possible. And with that, about 4 more officers kind of wander in, similarly addressed to her. Each of those officers also has a second with a big hood. Marcus,
Okay.
you know what this hood is.
I'm guessing it's to block telepathy or anything like that.
It is absolutely to block telepathy and also to notify the person wearing the hood that somebody is trying telepathy on them.
Yeah. I'd guess as much, which is why I'm not using any.
They're not. However, this isn't something you've seen very often. And again, it kind of emphasizes to you that perhaps this organization may be this rumored division that you have heard about that go looking for psionics amongst the people of the Imperium.
The only 2 psionic skills I don't have access to that they could have come in handy. There's clairvoyance to know that this was coming, and teleportation to get the hell out of here. I haven't got either of those.
Yeah. Does anybody want to give me let me have a look. Marcus.
50 English pounds.
You can give me 50 English pounds if you wish. Give me. It's the skill. Is it? I thought we had investigate or investigate would be the right one. I know not
Investigate or recon are the 2 spotting type things.
This is more investigation. Investigate.
Recon,
I know
I don't
not.
think I've got investigate.
I don't think anybody. So if you're going to do recon, I'll let you do recon.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're trained in recon, you can do recon, but it's going to be at a harder difficulty. So it's going to be the next one up on average, which I think is hard. Difficult. If you're going to do investigate, give me an average roll. Oh, look at Brent getting in there with his.
What stat would it be? Int? Or...
int, please. Yes. Okay. The officers focus on the passengers. You don't see, in all the while that you are waiting to be interviewed, you do not see them take any of the crew that are present here out for interview. But the final thing is the officer, the lead officer, asks you if you have any questions for them before we begin.
I don't know. I think Hashiko might like to be interviewed separately.
Okay.
Can I ask them a few questions? Don't want to be asking them in front of everybody.
Okay.
Ship, the other passengers, particularly, not necessarily our crew, but
Yeah.
Okay. Did any of you spend a career in naval intelligence? I don't think you did you?
don't know.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right. Oh.
Nope, don't think so.
Okay, so Hashiko, you want me to interview you separately from the rest of the group? I mean, you're all going to be interviewed separately anyway. I just didn't know whether you want me to run through the questions with each of your characters individually.
So going into
no,
another
no.
chat room, basically.
Well, we don't need to. We can just do it as a group then. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The assumption is any questions you ask, etc., you're being interviewed individually. The idea is, I will go through the questions and I'll ask each of you the question. You respond how your character would respond, and then if anybody else disagrees with that response, you can change it for your character. But bear in mind, you don't actually hear what the other character says. Okay. Any other questions? When she kind of stands there and she asks, one of them, probably Jessica, so she sort of goes, "Why is this boarding taking place? I thought this was a legally registered cruise." She smiles. Our remit permits us to board and inspect any vessel deemed to require it. We believe that there is evidence that a person or persons aboard this vessel may have entered a restricted area and or may be in possession of sensitive information. As I said, nobody is currently under arrest or in trouble. Our questioning will determine which of you this intelligence may be linked to, and we will determine the severity of it at that point. Jessica kind of looks a bit sheepish and kind of turns away. From where he's kind of languishing up against kind of sort of against the wall, one of the view with a rather nice glass of wine in his hand, Vlen kind of goes, "Well, miss, you're part of Omnicom division, aren't you?" She just looks over at him. "Yes."
I will raise my eyebrow at that. Particularly, is it Valen?
Vlen.
Vlen, sorry.
Yeah.
Valen's Babylon 5.
Valen is definitely Babylon 5. Yeah.
Do you know what? I've not watched much Babylon 5, but I keep thinking about getting into it.
Oh, I've seen the whole thing at least 5 times.
Got to be better than most of the shite that's coming out these days.
I would
It's great.
say,
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome, and I'd love to watch it again. I'd love to see a remastered version that fits in a widescreen, because that's the thing that would piss me off about it.
Yeah. There is a high definition version, but it's not widescreen.
Yeah.
But it's still definitely worth a watch.
It is.
In fact, it was Traveller that got me thinking about it the other week. I was like, oh, Babylon 5 something I've never had time.
Either that or Space 1999.
Never got to. I never got to play the roleplay game either.
No.
My favourite's still Space Above and Beyond. I don't know if anyone watched that back in the day.
Yeah,
No,
with the
that was
hammerheads.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a
And-
slight segue. We'll get back on track. That's sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Vlen kind of smiles at that and says, "So, why don't you tell everybody here then what you do?" She kind of looks at Vlen for a second. You see a little bit of a frown, and she says, "Well,
I don't think
we
that's
are."
advisable for the Imperial agents to be sharing what their objectives are, especially if they're looking for potential criminals.
She's smart.
I'll nod curtly to the.
Are you saying that out loud?
Yes, yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, okay. She kind of turns and looks at you, and then consults kind of a handheld terminal, and says, "Well, let's just say we're here to encounter, to discover and counter major threats to the Imperium and her citizens."
I thank you for your service.
And Vlen kind of
Not saying that one out loud.
I appreciate.
Isn't that what all the armed forces do?
Yeah. And Vlen kind of smiles at that and just kind of waves his glass in her general direction.
Apart from
Well,
some of us end up in battles and not,
yeah.
on bloody cruise ships.
Let's get this over and done with then. Yeah, you just get pushed out of the airlock, don't you?
Yeah. You've got to land and then take this point.
At 100,000 feet.
You got to say, I can see my house from here.
It's getting closer and closer.
No, I can see my country from here is how far up they throw him out.
Yep.
Okay. So you're all escorted one by one. So I'm going to start with Marcus, the first question. Make it really easy. I'm going to go Marcus, Ashiko, Brent, and then Carver. So, Marcus, the question I'd like you to answer. Why are you aboard this vessel?
We were given an invite. Yeah, we were invited aboard by Aish.
Why were you invited aboard?
That's why we came along. I presume,
Yeah,
because of the ship that we're flying. It's got some history with his research, but we haven't been given a reason why we were invited. I'm just assuming that.
Okay. Anybody want to add anything to that question?
You muted, Maddie.
Sorry, I'd like to say we're a bit of a novelty because of the ship we fly. We're currently flying at the moment.
This is actually one I might like to ask Zed separately.
People are very enamoured by the ship that we fly, and have wanted to have a journey with us. We have one person who's actually making a documentary of our journey here and our day-to-day going on the ship. I have no idea why, but it's money.
What was your rank in the Navy, Brent? Oh, you weren't, were you?
I was a Marine. I was a corporal.
A corporal. Okay. Well, your ship, you say, Corporal Stilmer. What about your ship? What makes it so interesting to people here?
Well, we have to find that out because I've no idea personally. But it just seems people are enamoured, and like I say, it's money. People are paying us to actually journey on our ship for a short time. So why not take the cash?
Yeah, Carver's answers to those. The first question was, why are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, so which will have been, I got an invite. Then they followed that up with, why did you get an invite? It'll have been something to do with the ship. I don't really care. Free food, free drink. And then if you follow that up with what's unusual about the ship, I don't know. I assume it's to do with something that one of the founders used to own it. It's been within this community for a long time. It's like an old battleship. Got good feelings.
Shiko, want to add anything to that first question, which is why are you aboard the vessel?
Well, I might want to ask you that slightly separately.
Okay.
Are we able to jump into a slightly different channel?
Yeah, sure. Go to Kingmaker.
Okay.
I'll be 2 minutes, boys.
The evil member of Omicron.
Oh.
You muted again.
What does the other side of this bus look like?
Where this restricted space is and what this has got. Because really, the questions should be, why are you here? Have you been to this place?
Yeah.
Have you heard about anything like this? In which case, no, I haven't. Go and search my room.
Yeah, they're fishing out there at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're after something to do with the space station that blew up. I think that's
that G1847. What his name was, that creature.
That was the creature that was afterwards. I think it's to the chirpers and things where something got sent out, didn't it?
That was from that station, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Okay.
That was pre-evil time as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Right. Okay, so second question. We'll go to Hashiko. The officer the next question that you're all posed with is now, come. You can't tell me that you are on this ship incidental to this Ancients conference that the Captain of Knowledge has organised. So let's be clean with one another. You're delegates, yes? And the question to Hashiko, why were you invited to the conference?
That's a very difficult question because I haven't been here that long.
What is your favourite colour?
Just our involvement in events of interest to these various individuals. I suspect as a bit of a neutral party to balance out their factional behaviour as well.
Interesting.
I will give a few details on what I have observed so far.
Okay.
And the infighting.
Anybody else want to add anything? You're all asked the same question.
What was he? So initially, she called us a liar, and then asked, "Come, why are you here?" She asked the same question again.
She didn't call you a liar. She just said, "Let's all be." Well, she said, "Let's all be honest with each other."
So I wasn't being honest.
The real reason that you're here is because of the conference. So why were you invited to the conference?
But we weren't. We were invited here. We just got an invite.
You were technically invited to the conference. The invite
was to conference, but she's already asked why are you here. We said we got an invited. We were invited.
Well,
you did.
We've already said we were invited.
To be honest, I think we showed a little bit too much of an interest in the Ancients Museum, and we did that purely out of politeness.
I guess the other bit that I would add is that we experienced what can only be described as a planetary destroying incident that is related to this group, not necessarily directly to anyone there,
Oh,
but
it wasn't anything to do with it.
I thought it was, wasn't it?
No,
No, nothing to do with
That's not
anybody.
why we're invited, though. We just got an invite. I think the
Because-
invite is
because
pure,
we're
the
the
invite is purely
current-
to do with the ship.
it
But
is.
weren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah, but wasn't the reason we were in the ship and that planet that got destroyed related to this?
So,
No, that
No,
was to do
no.
with Sorrel, which was a friend of Brent's.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
for Evil's benefit, because he hasn't been here for a lot of this, let me try and summarize how you've ended up with an invite. So, you originally received a package, or Brent received a package from an old friend of his called Sorrel. And basically, it was a plea for help to come find me, and some items that would garner your interest in maybe wanting to go and find her: a shiny laser pistol, an odd crystal, and some odd metals. That took you to that took you to Aish, which led you to Blanca, where you discovered that Bernadetta had flown Sorrel to Kalia, where Blanca lived. So you went to Kalia. On Kalia, you encountered G428 or 248 or 428, I think it is, which is the strange creature that none of you can remember.
So in fact, we didn't encounter it. But
So you went to Kalia, and there was lots of strange things. There seemed to be a high proportion of the locals were dying for really weird reasons.
It had It had the highest accidental mortality rate ever.
It did, yeah. And Blanca, something about some friends of hers, Bernadetta and her crew of a ship. She explained that she knew that the ship that Bernadetta had was the last ship that Sorrel was on, and the suggestion was that you should take over the ship because, Bernadetta, her friend, was missing, and the crew were all gone. You subsequently found the crew died of various strange things. One fell off a bridge and broke their neck, which was a bit clumsy of them because the bridge wasn't that high, and it was quite a gruesome break. Bones sticking out of the body.
yeah, and when she fell, there was a wood chipper there at the time she fell into. Somebody moved the wood chipper though, so we're not
Absolutely,
sure.
Absolutely. So that led you to the Garnet, and the Garnet. Bernadetta has some kind of link to the ancient hunters. You know that she was sending and finding artifacts from sites that she was then taking to Aish to display in the museum. And Blanca also confirmed that she had some dealings with the ancients community. And the Garnet was quite famous as being a ship that was some reason was related to the ancients community. You've never really figured out why. So you then went to Caledonia, to Califaction in Caledonia, where you found Sorrel. Sorrel she successfully blew up the planet using some ancient technologies and some ancient relics. And for some reason, when you got back into a place where you could pick up mail, you had got the invitation from Aish to go to a conference that he was putting together. And your assumption, the conference invitation did mention the loss of Bernadetta. Regret to inform you of the death of our dear friend B along with her crew. Circumstances unfortunate and tragic, and also of great significance to our mutual interest, is how the invitation started. As well as some kind of hint that it was you that found our friend before her demise. And that in his invitation, he had some information he wanted to share with you that for some reason he felt he could only do so once Bernadetta, or now that Bernadetta was dead. So it's a convoluted reason, and you're right. For all you know, the reason you're here is because of the ship.
And that's all Careful say. I'll just say it was a lieutenant I'm talking to, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Has it got a
Yeah,
name tag?
No name tag.
Okay. Lieutenant, I don't play games. I already told you. I'm here because I got an invite. Why I got an invite, I've already said. It was something to do with the ship. The previous owner, I believe there's probably going to be a wake of some kind because they passed along with the crew. We inherited the ship. So I believe it's something to do with that. Beyond that, you'll have to ask the person that invited us.
Oh, and I'm sure we will when we interview
I hope
them.
you get to the bottom of it because it'd be interesting to me. But like I said, free food, free drink, maybe.
Yeah, we came along to try and find out
A
why
comfy
we've
bed
had
as
an
well.
invite as much as anything else as to
Mm.
curiosity.
Anybody want to add anything to the question of why you were invited to the conference?
I'm honestly not sure I can set.
Yeah, no, it's fine. The next question then. So she kind of listens, and I'll ask Brent this one directly. So, Corporal Stilmer, you do not have any qualifications in this ancients field, then?
No, I have a scientific background, but none in the ancients field. It's all new to me, this mumbo jumbo. I think they have some interesting theories, but quite frankly, they are just a little bit, well, they're theories.
So you have not made any contacts or retrieved any artifacts?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Anybody want to add anything to that question?
I mean by artifacts.
Yeah, that will be my question. Is what would you? Have you got some specific artifact you're thinking of? Because
All the kinds of things.
She kind of, well, anything that you would wish to sell or claim was a relic or item linking back to the ancients or the time of the ancients.
no,
Shit.
That their ring with a shotgun on it.
Or that
I'm gonna say
stone
that.
that's really close to my body.
Yes. That would definitely be something that would class as an ancient artifact. Yes.
How about this spoon?
Oh, we don't know enough about the ancients to know what would be their artifacts.
yeah. Again, Carl will be very straightforward and go and turn my bunk over if you want. But as far as I'm aware, we've just pulled basic salvage where we can for cred to keep the ship floating. No,
Yep.
I don't think we have.
We don't know enough about the ancients, and this lots of arguing about the nature of the ancients isn't making it any clearer either. So
My skill set's straight from the Navy, so
Yeah.
I fly ships and shoot stuff.
Next question, then, I'm going to direct to Carver to answer first. So, if I were to ask you which ancient sites you visited, you would say none, then?
Have you got a list of ancient sites?
Well, there are some that have been catalogued and turned into public museums. Is there a list? I thought there was a list in here.
Zed, within my character knowledge, have I been to any?
The closest to an artifact site that it depends on how open you want to be with her, whether her line of question is annoying you or not. But the closest you could answer is probably Aisha's museum. That would technically be the only place that had any ancient paraphernalia in it, but in and of itself, it's not an ancient site. So no, you have definitely not been to an ancient site.
I will just say, well, we met H in a museum, but if you're talking, have we flown down to an old ancient planet and plundered some tomb for some glowing doodad? Then no, no, we haven't.
The delegates at this conference are probably the people we want to be speaking to.
I'll point out that H's Museum being the closest we've been to, and a lot of that we could see was clearly fakes. The rest we don't know.
I'll say exactly the same thing, but I will say, I think I said earlier that the closest thing we've been to the ancients is when we were on, I can't remember which planet it was, sorry, but went to Aisha's museum, and he showed us lots of strange things there. None of which...
It was non-functional junk, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and some of them was stolen straight from TV shows and things.
Yeah.
They were videos of things that had happened. We remember the actual show that it was on.
Yeah. Hashiko, your comment about the delegates. So, interesting that you bring up the delegates, Admiral. Which of the delegates do you think knows the most about the ancients?
Captain of captains.
If you go by who brags the most about it, the captain of knowledge or whatever he wants to self himself. But my opinion from a very brief meeting with them all, probably Vlan.
Yeah,
seems very knowledgeable and keeps to himself.
Keeps his cards close to his chest.
He seems to know a lot, and he particularly picked up on the organisation you work for. That in itself speaks volumes of his information and knowledge.
So Jessica talks sense. What she says kind of makes more sense than H by a long way.
But Jessica's got it from a scientific point of view.
Exactly.
Whereas Arjun, we know, well, he's told us most of the things. He has alleged ancient artifacts on him, but they're fake, apparently, from what he said.
Okay. Last question. So Marcus, the woman says to you, so final question for you. What was your rank?
Force Commander.
Force Commander. Jeepers. Force
Commander. What number am I thinking of?
I mean, and she does show deference to ranks during your conversation. She will call you by your rank, and she will acknowledge your service and the rank that you have. Throughout the conversation, though, you will get 1 second. Sorry, just had to message someone. And so, but even, if Force Commander is higher than a lieutenant, for example, you still get the sense that she believes she is more superior to you.
Yeah. It was
and she's the kind of person,
rank 3, whatever that means.
She's the kind of person that you would imagine would wait for you to salute her than her to salute you.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But she's not arrogant with it. She's just very confident in I am
A
more.
remit.
I am. Yeah, my remit is
Yeah.
way higher than your title would ever have given you.
Yeah.
She says, so, final question. Do you think there's anybody on the ship that is a threat to the security of our Imperium?
No. I think if any of these delegates have anything threatening, their infighting is going to tear them apart before anything actually happened. I don't know what they have and haven't got, because I know nothing about the ancients apart from what they're saying, and that's all contradictory. I have seen nothing threatening.
Very good. Anybody want to add anything to that?
Honestly, couldn't comment.
I could name 4
I haven't,
people, but I won't.
I haven't spent enough time with them, so I would defer to your judgment.
I'll put a mom at the end of mine when I say it. I'll give my answer. I'll say mom with a slight bow of my head.
And at that point, she will look at you, Brent, and she'll say, thank you for your time, Brent. You may go. Corporal, you may go.
Thank you, mum. And I will do my old school corporal walk out the room.
Okay. As you place your hand over the panel to open the door, she goes, actually, I have one more question for you.
And I'll turn around and
really-
say, certainly, ma'am.
What happened on Califaction? And she kind of gestures back to the seat.
Okay, I shall walk confidently back to the seat and sit myself down. Califaction was the exploded planet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Correct.
It was potentially what I was going to bring up as something that was more important than whatever's on this ship. But
Okay.
Well, it's a very strange thing, to be quite honest, Mum. We went there to go see an old science friend of mine, Sorrel, who I've known, not been hugely in contact with, but I've known her for a lot of years. We were at we passed through university together. That's Sorrel to Gale. And when we got to the planet, something strange was happening with gravitational pulls, and the planet seemed to be just tearing itself apart. So we went to go and find her, and sadly, she died, and we managed to get off the planet just before it tore itself apart.
And do you want to add anything? And
quite a harrowing thing.
Yeah. You're all asked the same question as you are led to believe the interview is over, and then kind of gestured to sit back down again. Does anybody want to add anything to that statement?
So Califaction was the one where the rods leading into the centre of the core
Yeah.
Yes.
were being used to excite it and pull about the explosion.
Yeah. Yeah, the science behind it you never really figured out, I don't think. But you suspect it had something to do with the fact that at perihelion, when the planet was closest to the sun or the system star, those rods were absorbing heat and growing.
Yeah.
And as they were growing and expanding, they were basically pulling the planet apart.
It's a bit obvious because I was going to mention that before she got to the question about it.
Okay.
So, because it kind of falls in line with her asking whether there's anything here that's, a threat to the Imperium.
Yeah.
I'm Navy. I'm ex-Imperium. So, my answer to that would have been not really from these jokers, but I was recently on Califaction. There was something, you'll have got reports, no doubt, where the planet exploded, there was something that could have been used as a weapon I believe, on that planet. There was some strangeness going on with the science piece on that planet. We were very lucky to get out. It looked like some large rods had been rammed into the core that were absorbing energy to lead to the planet's destruction.
You believe, she says, do you think these were ancient artifacts?
Ancient artifacts on very top tier science. You make the decision on that one. I don't know. I haven't seen either. Like I said, the background's in piloting, shooting stuff, and engines. But from the little knowledge that I've seen around people, I've not heard of it mentioned in these ancient worlds, and I've certainly not seen it mentioned in the techies that have been around. So I don't know. You fly the nice ships. Maybe you've heard of something like that.
I mean, I'll
These-
second that I have some scientific background, but like that stuff is way advanced.
Yeah.
I
Anybody?
don't have any.
Okay. And she sort of says, so these rods, was there anybody involved? Who was involved in these rods? Who made them do what they did? Was it just a natural phenomena, or did somebody have a hand in it?
I mean, we did. I can't remember who killed them in the end. Was it me?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's been one at
Sorrel.
Sorrel,
It was
wasn't
Sorrel. Yeah.
Sorrel.
It was Sorrel.
Like I say, it was one of the scientists from the station. I think her name was Sorrel. But whether she seemed to have had some kind of mental break. So whether she was in full
You're going quiet, buddy.
am I? I mean,
Yeah.
hang on.
Yeah,
I can't actually see where things are.
I think the stress had been stuck on Califaction with that. It was literally a hell world. Drove her mad, and I've spent a lot of time with Sorrel. And she's a rock person. I'm more of a biological person in our learnings. But sadly, we had to stop her from. She was doing something with the reactor on the science base there that was feeding into these whatever was destroying the planet. But she was completely out of her gourd. She was rambling random words about some goddess, was it? Or
Yes, it was some god. It was a god, wasn't it? The
was a
sun god.
yeah, that's right.
Sun god.
So I think the heat and the isolation finally got to her, which is a shame because she was a one-time partner of mine, as many women have been. And
Is this
and
you
yes.
chatting her up?
yes. So, and I was the one who had to try to
the giving lover, he says.
Yeah.
Just offering my services should you be interested.
Yeah. Sadly, I had to try to put her down, but I couldn't. My friend, Hiroshiko,
I don't know whether I did. I thought wasn't it
somebody.
was it-
wasn't it Carver in the end?
Was it Carver?
I think it may have been a big old shotgun blast.
I did shoot her, but then I think you did shotgun her right in the face or something.
Pretty much.
And this is after she had killed, I think, or set the defense bots after most of the staff in the base.
So, Brent, are you, Corporal, are you suggesting that she was responsible for the destruction of Califaction?
Not directly. I think indirectly she advanced what was happening already to Califaction.
And do you have any evidence of the actions that you took and the actions that she took while you were on the planet?
Sadly, no. We were too busy running for my life to even think about it, because it's a good journey back to our ship, and we had to get off in a certain amount of time. I'm sure if you can recover a data core from the remains, then you may find some interesting information that will verify my account of things, Mom.
Planet went kind of
Big
boom.
abada boom.
Yeah.
The planet went
Yeah,
from the planet went from a big thing to little tiny bits of rock. It's now kind of its own asteroid kind of cluster. Anybody want to add anything else? So the kind of
Quick question.
questions.
The aliens that rescued us, would it be frowned upon that we were rescued by them?
You don't know.
I've left them out of it purely for that.
The Droin are a strange race. They are known in the Imperium, but for the most part, they are dismissed as irrelevant and not a threat.
Well,
And people don't know about their technology.
Yeah. What I would add then is we got off that planet because of a droid ship rescued us. So possibly if you could put out a request for some information to the droid, they may have sensor readings that could give you something.
To validate our statements.
They don't need to validate it. They may get some useful information.
Anybody got anything else to add? So they'll ask about, was it artifacts, ancient artifacts that were involved? Who was involved with the artifacts? Did anybody do anything with them to trigger them? Who was responsible for the destruction? They'll ask you to summarize, repeat, give her a summary of what you believe happened during your visit. She'll ask a bunch more questions about Sorrel, and then any evidence of your actions on the planet to support or refute what you have told her.
What I would say is I would add a caveat that if they investigate this and deem that what's it called?
Californication.
Califax, wasn't it? Califax. If they deem that Califax was a site of an ancient site, then I'd like to caveat that my previous statement was I didn't go there knowingly. Because you've done it you've changed it retrospectively.
She will make a note on her tablet. Okay, so after you've all answered the question, she smiles and she kind of lets you all go. Ashiko, you're the last one to leave, and as you do so, you notice that two of the OD soldiers each have a hand on the shoulder of the captain of knowledge. And to anybody who's listening, he's going, yes, I am vindicated. My status as Ancient Hunter Supreme has been confirmed by these fine Imperium folk. And his hands are tied.
Being escorted out.
His hands are handcuffed behind him. Yes.
What an absolute cockwomble!
And he sort of says, "None of you have all been arrested. See, I am vindicated. I am the rightful, the truthful, supreme ancient hunter. I hold the most knowledge." And he kind of, you can hear him constantly just ranting and yelling about how good he is, even as he is frog marched out. Ooh,
you will never see the light of day again, you arse.
Yeah. As he's marched into the airlock, and then they just jettison him.
Their probes aren't gentle.
Oh,
Moves aren't gentle. Nice. That's
Hashiko. So, yeah, he is full of himself. He doesn't seem worried at all. His ego is bursting with the fact that in his head he is being vindicated as the most knowledgeable ancient hunter at the conference and was justifiable. The only thing you get is but it's a shame I'm not going to see the place.
Well, he means the mountain, doesn't he?
And you get a brief vision of the text of the Twilight Peak.
of the what? Sorry.
You get a brief vision of the text of the Twilight Peak, which is the poem he was kind of dissecting and trying to explain.
That was their lies, all lies, deceitful mountain.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to step away from
what's
Vlen's
5-10
minutes just to take some pain meds, guys.
Yeah, I know.
No,
Okay. No worries, bud.
What's Vlen's face or reaction looking like?
Yeah, are the rest of them laughing?
Question.
No,
I mean
everybody. Right. So everybody bar Vlen seems very nervous, and you get a sense of relief as the lieutenant that was leading the investigation kind of nods to you all and heads off the observation deck. And you can hear the boots of the soldiers and stuff disappear down towards the docking bay, or up towards the docking bay, should I say? And as they've all kind of gone, there's this collective amongst the rest of the delegates. There's this collective kind of exhalation of tension, and everybody kind of looking at each other, sort of, did that just happen?
There's that quiet mumble that gets louder and louder as things relax.
All but Vlen, who kind of, it's almost like he hasn't left his space, and he's still kind of leaning against a railing near one of the windows with a still pretty much 3/4 full glass of wine in his hand, and he's just gently sipping it and looking around.
you see Hashiko tapping on her computer slightly.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of looks up and goes, I'm not sure what we do without our host.
Whatever we want.
Free food, free drink.
You would argue. Go on. Yep.
Did he ever get around to giving his presentation before that was interrupted?
He
spent ages, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because I missed the end of last session. So.
Yeah, he got about 40 minutes in, and he was starting to build up to the point when the interruption happened.
I'd just like to review I was making a recording of that.
Yeah, so let's see. How far did he get? It's basically he started off by reading the beginning of Twilight's Peak. He had hollow projectors displaying handwritten words floating in the air around him, and he was drawing strange connections, comparing phrases to others, patterns of symbols in equations that he kind of glossed over a little bit. So there was bits of what he was saying he didn't seem to understand. And the one phrase that grabbed certainly some of your attention is "their lies, all lies, blatant lies, a deceitful mountain in shadow and light." And apparently that is wording that comes from the original manuscript of the Twilight's Peak. But his revelations kept coming through to the point where he was interrupted. He was basically saying that the Gyro Cadiz was a real ship, a task force that really existed. He believes that the names had been changed. He suspects that they crashed somewhere. and that the people on the Cadiz were forced to seek shelter. And you get a sense that he was building up to say that where that shelter was, except he was cut off and never got a chance to finish his statement.
Yeah. So basically, they crashed the planet. They went to these mountains where they saw some domes. They crossed a bridge of light, and then a great door opened. They went through. The floor glowed orange, and somebody tried to touch the floor and lost a finger. So if you ever come across a orange glowing floor, don't touch it, or can't touch it. Yeah. And then the people that were fighting them came to follow, and they had to leave and get out. That's me summarising really badly. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Something I've just remembered looking at my notes. We got Sorrel's journal, didn't we? But weren't we trying to unencrypt it or something to read it? Did we ever do that? I've got Sorrel's journal, case 12. I can't remember whether we actually.
Yes. So
Got
the
information.
journal was very much mostly talking about her time on Halifaxian, and case 12, which she said started off being a hypothetical scenario about the rods.
Right, okay.
And whether or not they could be used to cause damage in the core of the planet. And if that was the case, would that result in Califaxion not surviving the stresses of perihelion?
Why
And
would you want to do that on your own planet that you're on?
Because you're mad.
Well, yeah, there is that. So her journal would basically tell you that she, at some point, she began to believe in this thing called the Star God. There's no real information as to kind of when she started believing it, really what the Star God was or who it is, just that she believed that she could utilize, or she was hoping that she could utilize the rods during perihelion to destroy the planet and offer the planet as a sacrifice to her star god to rejuvenate it. In other words, she was as crazy
mental,
as she was batshit crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was her plan. And it seemed that the journal just talks about her steps to proving case 12 was true and how she would go about triggering it, which is what she did.
I still maintain she went mental because she was stuck on the planet in the first place.
You watch as one by one you see the ships out of the viewports kind of just pull away and move off. And as that happens, the captain, the commanding officer, comes over the tannoy. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we have been ordered by the Imperial Navy to return to port at Aki and to put you all ashore. Meanwhile, you are free to enjoy everything the ship has to offer you until that time. We trust that you are not inconvenienced.
I'll be looking for a refund.
We didn't pay for this.
You didn't.
Hopefully Asher did.
Is there anything else you want to do while the ship kind of spends the next couple of days, 3 days, heading back to port at Aki?
Yeah, eat as much as possible of the expensive stuff I probably won't like.
The captain of knowledge seemed to think we should have been travelling somewhere, didn't he? That was part of his big announcement.
That is the inference you got, yes, from rewatching his.
We should
That's
get
why
a
we'd
flight
gone
plan.
to where we were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so
Unless it was on that planet we went to.
you went to where you went just because it was in system and somewhere
Dramatic.
interesting.
So it wouldn't necessarily have been in system. It could have been
No,
further on.
Yeah.
Okay.
correct. He never told you where it was.
Can we
Well,
take it from his
he said it's in
presentation?
something like 200 parsecs of where we were, didn't he? Or something like that.
200 parsecs.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's a lot of space.
It is a lot of space.
That was his inference, was it? It was a brand new, hitherto never before found ancient location that was still active, that was somewhere within 200 parsecs of your current location.
Are we able to see the rest of the presentation to see whether or not there was a location in it?
Okay.
So I was about to ask
A number
whether
of
we
his
can get access to it, maybe, if we need to.
You absolutely can. The captain, it seemed, had taken time to put his notes and things back in his quarters. You convinced the steward that the captain would want, because of your links to his museum, the captain would want you to collect here. Actually, do you know what? Give me a roll. Let's see how well you convinced the steward.
Yeah. I'm keeping well away.
You can make I'd say advocate, but nobody's got advocate. So give me a carouse check. Or a leadership check. Either of those would work.
Oh, leadership on myself. Yeah, leadership I've got.
I've got a lot of leadership. A lot of leadership.
Average?
Yep.
The dice defeat me. No, they have not. I mean,
Jeepers. Okay, so I would have given Marcus starts the conversation, Hashiko finishes it. So I would have given you the extra chain bonus, so you would get an exceptional success. Okay. It doesn't take you too much. Yeah, you did. It doesn't take too much effort for you to convince the steward to give you access to Aish's rooms. Amongst the stack of materials that he has, he does seem to have a case with a number of physical handwritten notes on paper. And then at the bottom of that seems to be a much older stack of papers, kind of loosely bound together, handwritten in kind of a fading script. Across the top, across the front page is the title Twilight Peak, or the Twilight Peak. And the Twilight Peak is handwritten.
Are there any notations in the sides of the paper?
No. What you have is effectively the poem, the Twilight Peak poem.
Potentially the original manuscript.
And his notes seem rather vague and don't have written down in them exactly where the build up to the location is emitted from his own personal notes. Towards the end, you can see some scribbles, basically, just keep them guessing, build up suspense, tell them of location, announce that's where we're heading. But at no point does he write the location down. And you're not surprised by that. You realize that the man was an egotistical fool and wouldn't have wanted that being committed anywhere other than his head to ensure nobody else could get the march on him.
What about the
Flight
Yeah,
pilot?
was that put a flight plan?
Exactly.
The captain is not aware of the location. The charter did permit him to go out of Akai, but he had not been given a particular destination at that point before the Imperium arrived for their checks.
What about supplies on the ship? How many days, for example, type of supplies that were put on if he planned to go somewhere
I'm going to jump out the
hostile
wardrobe
or
and
far
go,
away?
supplies.
Like anything, the ship would most likely jump to other locations en route and take on supplies as needed.
Okay. So there weren't any specialized equipment or anything for certain environments already applied.
The ship is a jump 3 ship with 4 weeks of. So the ship has 4 weeks of operation on board, and
Right.
you'd been out 4 days.
Yeah.
So there was enough. There would be enough things on the ship for you to make 4 jumps and a dock. So you could effectively get 12 parsecs from your location before actually having to dock somewhere and physically restocking.
Okay. While I was presenting, I scanned his mind, was trying to get something like that as well, but I couldn't risk it while he was being escorted out.
Is that something that you've shared with the group, or
No,
no? Okay.
hell no. I'd be burnt at the stake by Medi if nobody else.
Burn
them witches.
You're about a day out from Aki, the main system, the main planet. You're kind of in the lounge, just looking, watching as gradually the stars, the lights of the planet start to coalesce into view. Vlen kind of comes over and he kind of nods and smiles and he sits down. Well, my friends, it seems like our journey is about to end. It's been quite an interesting journey, hasn't it?
Surreal, I think is the word.
There's a bit of excitement. It certainly was more than we expected.
Does his research make any sense to you and all the things that you've seen?
May I? And he kind of holds his hand out.
Yeah, feel free.
Yeah, of course. You saw the presentation as well as we did.
Yes. Do you share any of the physical papers with him?
Might as well.
I don't see why not, but obviously not to let him just keep.
Okay. He kind of flicks through his notes and he reads his notes, and here and there he chuckles and he sort of says, well, he really perhaps was onto something, but I don't know quite how he got to it. It's clear these equations, he has no clue what he was reading. And he kind of puts them down and he picks up the manuscript and he's, well, this is old. If I had to guess, I would say 30-ish years old. Interesting. And he kind of turns over a page, and as he turns over a page, he pauses for a second, And then you kind of see one of his eyebrows kind of raise, and he looks at you and says, "Well, that is interesting. I think we'll be, well, I have some important things to do." And he kind of hands everything back to you. "I have some important things to do when I reach Aki.
Can I try to resurface those, see if I can figure out what he's just read?
You
leaps out.
absolutely can, yes, if you want to."
Take
Yeah,
a
this is when I
Sending
find
you a
out
message.
he's a telepath.
Just take a moment.
Nudge.
He goes,
Poke
"Get
him.
out of my mind!"
Yeah, this is where I'm. See, out of them all, he's the one I suspect might be a telepath.
Well, as he pauses, just to have a look and see which page he's on.
Oh, he's on the
Hmm.
very first page. So the
Very
first page past the title page.
Then he
Okay,
turns
and that's
it
why,
over.
that's why he pauses.
Yeah.
You say this. I'm trying to keep him there. You say this manuscript is old, 30 years. You think he was using someone else's work that he
Oh,
didn't fully understand?
more than think. He's definitely using somebody else's work.
No.
Okay. As I was going to say, it's of a delicate nature, but I'm wondering, what are your plans when you reach Aki? Do you have anywhere to go? Anything to do?
Not really. No, we were going
Available
to
for hire.
see any jobs.
That's something you're proposing.
available. Hmm.
Well, I am. You see, and he kind of turns back. He kind of reaches back over, and flicks over the page where you can see the first page of handwriting. And he taps it. I know who wrote this. And our little Johns with Omnicom Division has put me in mind to make sure that they're okay and encouraged to relocate. I'm wondering if I can perhaps persuade your good selves. I presume you have a ship available to you?
We do indeed.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can persuade your good selves to seek out my friend Mercedes Karamaka, and ask that you press upon her the urgency that she should find herself somewhere other than respite on Pagaton.
Tell you what, that name's a fucking OnlyFans name if you ever heard one.
What's that?
Mercedes Paramac or whatever it is.
Mercedes Karamaka, yeah.
Yeah, porn star name, that, Jesus.
Restless on.
At a town named Respis, on a
Respis.
planet called Pagaton, just outside of Imperium space.
Do we know where is that on the map somewhere?
Yes, it is here. And actually, I need to get the other map back. 1 second. I've got a different map. Pagaton is there.
Well, not many miles away.
And we're here. Yeah, so a couple of
2 jumps.
3
Oh,
jumps.
actually.
3 jumps.
3. Yeah.
It's 3 jumps irrespective of which way round you go. So you could go to Overnal, Melior, Pagaton, or you could go Aki to Vice to Lydia to Pagaton.
Do we need to drop that chap back off at Vice?
Well, we don't need to, do we?
You don't need to.
He can make his own way.
Kick him out of the airlock.
Yeah, this is what I used to do as I shove him out.
Yeah.
Put this suit on.
Yeah, bend your knees when you land.
We don't even need to tell him we're going. We just go, can't we? Unless he's not paid us yet.
So he says to you, he says, yes, I would very much like that you, if you're able to, is that you could visit her, extend my compliments along with the warning that our friends, the Omicron division, have been sniffing around, and that I have great concern that they may have taken an interest in her, and perhaps you'd be so kind as to help her relocate. I don't have a lot to offer you. I can certainly offer you a favour for whatever that is worth. And he kind of pats his pockets and he kind of goes and he kind of pulls out sort of a credit stick and he says, best I can give you here is 15,000 credits. For expenses.
Barely cover the jumps.
He kind of looks at you depreciatingly and says, the favour could be worth more.
We'll take both if that's okay with you.
Of course.
Can you tell us anything about Mercedes?
Do you have a picture of her?
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah, not
Got a
one that
picture.
we can share with you though.
He goes, hang on a
Race.
second, pulls up his tablet, his computer, and he types in like OnlyFans of Hagathon and shows you an image.
Yeah, what race is she?
If you get the angle right, you can get a profile of her face, but it's quite hard to see past all that.
Yeah. She's human. She is human. Do we have a picture? I don't know if there's a picture of her. No, there isn't a picture of her. There's kind of a.
If there was, it would be
It would be
absolutely
ugly.
fucking minging.
Yeah, it would be horrendous.
Actually, there is a picture of her, but
She's 65 and she's starting with
he
OnlyFans.
doesn't.
New.
So I do have a picture of her, which I will show you when you meet her. But he doesn't have a picture himself. Well, of course, if you choose to take the little plot hook, that's entirely up to you. But he kind of
I have a
says,
suspicion.
he says, but she definitely wrote this. So perhaps she can shed more light on it. Maybe she knows if this is a real place or points to a real place, then she would be my first choice to get that information.
You not come with us?
I have other pressing matters that I need to attend to of a personal nature, so unfortunately I can't.
While we have you here, do you know why we were invited? That was one of the questions that they asked us. It's like, was there a reason? Did Aish confide in you as well?
My understanding is that you were somehow linked to Bernadetta. And the ship that you have, I believe, is also the Garnet was her ship. And these people are very.
Did I get any kind of sense that he was trying to hide something from us when he said
As you
to attend?
so interestingly, as you do that, he scratches his head as though he's got a tingle. And what you're getting is a general concern for his friend Mercedes. He does not want her to fall into the hands of Omicron. Omicron is something completely different. Omicron. And
RoboCop.
he is frustrated that he couldn't go himself, though you do get a sense that he hasn't seen her in several years.
Okay.
I am really surprised that you can do that, Tivlen.
Yeah.
Did I say that out loud? I didn't you?
See, if he's a telepath, then I couldn't have read his mind. He'd have blocked it and known that I'd tried.
Yeah, no, he's not a telepath. I double checked. I'm surprised, though, that he's not, but he isn't. He's just an average old 52-year-old man with a great interest in history, especially the ancients.
He ain't average. I wouldn't play him at poker, that's all I'm saying.
Could be worse. Could be bird watching.
I'm sharing as much as that with the team when we're not near him. I'm finding it really hard to get a read on him, and I'm pretty good at clocking people.
Yeah, tell. Yeah.
He is, yes. He says all the right things to the right people. He knows how to divert conversation to something else. He also seems to be very calm. At no point during the boarding of Omnicom Division, even though, they're a feared secret organization, at no point did he ever seem stressed or worried.
Yeah, I got the impression that either he's got some links to this organization or knows a hell of a lot more about them than most people.
He says, yes, Mercedes and I go back many years, at least. He kind of scratches his head again, at least a decade, 15 or so years. I've asked her on several occasions to come work with me, but she's never taken me up on the offer.
She interested in this stuff? I'm surprised she didn't get an invite.
She wouldn't have come even if she did. She prefers her solace. She prefers her anonymity and solitude. There are very few people, and he kind of glances around. He said, and he kind of looks around, and then he says, outside of the five of us, there is probably only Blanca that perhaps knows of her location.
Is there anything you can give us to confirm that we have been sent from you? If she's so secretive, she's going to be distrustful.
Just show the manuscript. And he kind of, he just says, show the manuscript.
Will she meet us to be able to show her that?
I'm sure if you, yes, I mean, I don't believe she's one that won't meet you, and especially if you let her know that you have something of interest of hers, she would be more than interested in meeting you.
If we drop your name, is she likely to be...
Oh, she'll be very receptive, of course.
Very good.
We're not on bad terms, if that's what you're suggesting.
I just understand that long-term relationships can be complex. To get any kind of rise out of him on that? No body language change, anything?
No, none whatsoever.
Okay.
None whatsoever.
Fucking don't play cards with this man. Does anyone like to bet ships on things, just in case? Because I'm going to keep an eye on them in the crew. Oh, fucking hell, he rolled shit, but look at that. We can see his numbers.
Shit. Yeah, I did roll shit, and you can see his numbers. Yeah, I should have made it private, shouldn't I? But yeah.
He should have, yeah.
No, I mean, he isn't.
An average gentleman with a +3 skill.
Yeah.
Well, quite, yeah, this is my point.
And that's his lower skill.
Nothing from this guy.
Having said that, he's 52. He's got age, hasn't he?
He has got age as a penalty against him, yeah.
Wily bastards.
Yeah.
What I would say is he is definitely not trying to deceive you. So everything he's told you is above board. He does seem to be able to compartmentalize his thoughts quite well. And you perhaps get a sense that he knew what you were doing.
It's like me at work.
Yeah.
I know nothing, honestly. Nothing about nothing. Cool. I guess we'll take this job because let's pull on some strings, right? See where it leads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't make head and tail of this manuscript or whatever bullshit he was presenting. So
So what do we reckon? Overnail, Melia, and then Pagaton.
is there any particular reason we want to go for Overnail, Melia, Pagaton, and not
I don't
Vice,
think
Lydia?
it's 3 runs either way, isn't it? But I don't think we've been
Yeah.
to Overnail. I don't think we've been to Overnail before.
You've not
We
been
haven't.
told
But
no.
then if we're going to Overnil, we can't drop off. Oh.
Yeah.
Journalist. Back at Vice.
I do feel like we ought to take him back.
Well, so if he wants us left, he might want to do something else.
Oh, we can
Is
ask.
he going? Is he going straight back, or is he going to hang around with?
Is Binges a place we get free fuel? Or is it
No,
Tarkeen?
It's further across.
Oh, it's Woolston. It's Woolston, yeah.
Woolston, yeah.
Bugger.
You get free fuel anyway. It's just a bit shit.
Yeah,
give me an astrogation roll.
It's me, isn't it? Shit.
Not terrible at it. I've got a 3 bonus.
Just.
Yep.
So, Brent, you kind of pull up on the public system on the ship as you're kind of coming into. Well, if you remember, the Glisten is too big for the dock in Aki, so you kind of hit an orbit, and then you're taken down to the launches, and then the launches will take you to the starport. As you're kind of waiting for, the docking, I say in loose terms, the docking to happen and you to be mustered down to the launch, you kind of take a look at the journey out to Pagaton. You have a couple of options. Obviously, the Vice Lydia Pagaton route is absolutely fine. It's a good use of your ship in that, you're jumping to Vice, jumping to Lydia, jumping to Pagaton. The challenge there is Lydia is a very rudimentary system. It's a Class E starport. And so it is going to be a little bit of a challenge. However, equally, it is most likely the easiest of routes for you to get into and out of Imperial space with the least likely of a transporter stop and search.
We aren't concerned about being searched, though, are we?
Well, it depends if you want to do this on the quiet or not.
I suppose so, given the
Have we got anything to hide?
of lands. Well, we haven't, but
yes, we'd be returning that anyway. Where we go after that doesn't really matter, does it?
So the other option would be Aki to Windsor, Windsor to Melia, Melia to Pagaton.
Well, there's a lot of different permutations. We could do
Overnail,
Melia, Pagaton, Kalia, Bingles, Pagaton.
Binges, not Bingles.
Binges, yeah.
Yeah. The what you know is that, Binges is an interesting one because of the Class A system. You've been there before. Isn't
Where do we think we'll get cheap fuel?
Kalia's where Black, what she's called is, isn't it?
Blanca,
sorry.
Yes.
And I read the ship.
Well, what might we be able to get some transport for? We've got to carry some goods, right? Because this 15k is not going to cover us.
Well,
Well,
you
we can
can
get it from here.
potentially you can speculate here to see if there's anything available.
Let's go mail again, or do a not a courier. What's the word?
Freight.
Freight. Thank you.
Right is always a good one. Give me 1 second. World Journal. Traveller map. Spinward marches. You're in Akai, aren't you? Okay.
Be right back. 2 seconds.
No worries. Let's have a look at this. Right. What is Aki's population? 2 billion. It's 9. What is their tech level? 9. Broker or streetwise? Does anybody have those? I think, Marcus,
have
you've been
both.
working. Okay, what's your value?
Hang on. I'm just
Does
Your
still have some as well?
your DM value. Is it 1?
Broker is 0. Streetwise is 0.
Okay.
So
Did Hashiko have one of those? Can't remember.
I don't think so.
I definitely got it.
but I have, I've got +1 int for on the roll, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can give you +1. And what's your available tonnage on your ship? Can you remember?
Was it 40? No, it wasn't as much. That was it.
You've got 12 tons of space.
That's it. Sorry, yes, I was way off.
Okay.
7 tons I've got down after the raft.
That's exactly right as well. 7 tons, yeah.
7 tons because you've got the raft on it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because we couldn't take some certain mail stuff, which was like 10 tons.
Mm-hmm.
Missing. Don't even know how this works. Do you have any? Jump distance is 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Social. Who's got the highest social skill?
Evil, I think.
Bonus.
Yeah, evil, I think.
SOC +2.
It's 2.
Yeah, I got +0.
Okay. So
-1.
there is no mail being offered out of Aki. However, from a freight perspective, you can get 11,200 tons to be delivered. Well, it depends how far you want to carry it. Sorry. So that's delivering it to Parsec. So if you wanted to, say, go to Vice or Overnail, you can take 7 tons and gain 11,000 credits. If you wanted to try and take something all the way to your destination...
Well, if we want to conceal where we're going, probably not, right?
Yeah, and we can also pick up more package at the next place.
Well, so...
Unless it's stupidly expensive.
If you were to take it all the way to your destination, you could sell it for, or you could effectively make 224,000 credits, less your journey costs, so you'd have a net profit of 195k.
I know that does give us a good reason to be going.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why were you going to Pakistan? Well, the couple $100,000 we were going to make.
What
Yep.
would we be carrying though?
It's just freight. It's just freight.
highly illegal narcotics and trafficking people. Yeah.
So let me show you.
Yeah, pick me
So-
dwarf.
The normal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, 195,000 profit is quite nice.
These artifacts.
Let me just see if I can figure out how to get this to appear.
If we add a couple more zeros onto that, we might be able to start affording a bit of a ship.
Or a turret.
So if you expand that and you look at it, so I've filled it out for you. Essentially, oh, no, it hasn't kept it. All right, so let me show you. No, I can't show you. So that's not the screen I had. So if you use this calculator, the way it works is it looks at how far you're going. You'll start, I'll give you an example. So you're starting in an 8 or more, tech level 9, jump distance is 6, you've got a +1 overall skill value, you're in a class B starport, you're in a standard zone, and your available cargo is 7. Doesn't matter how much cash you've got, it doesn't really bother with that. I don't know why I did that. And if I hit calculate freight, it gives you all the lots down the bottom. Maximize cargo, 224,000. And then it should calculate. Oh, because I haven't put it in here.
See, down the bottom, it gives you a table of stuff.
Yeah, so down the bottom, it shows you what's available. If you hit maximize cargo, it fills your available space. Because you are limited by your 7 tons, you can't really take anything other than minor and incidental. So the calculator fills the maximum. And as you can see, 5 tons of minor, taking it 6 parsecs is 160,000 credits.
2 tons
then
incidental.
2 tons of incidental is 64,000, so that's 224,000. There is a jump fee. You will need to jump 3 times, and that will be 30,000. So your net profit is 194k.
That's good. We'll do that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Is that what you vibe coded?
Yeah, that's what I vibe coded. Yeah. That's one of the things I vibe coded. The other one's a planet generator and a sector generator. And then if I was really, if I really wanted to, I haven't filled all these, I could stick it to here. Oh no, I could download it. Didn't mean to do that. I can commit journey, and then I can start to store. So it will take you 23 days to do the entire journey. From start to finish.
That's shorter than normal, isn't it? Because normal jump takes 2 weeks, doesn't it?
No, normal jump's a week.
Oh, that's right. Yes, sorry.
So that's 3 weeks.
Yeah. I can put your ship price in. It tells you how much mortgage you have to pay if you've got mortgage outstanding. It tells you your monthly payments. And it also, on the travel journey, it calculates how far you've gone. And once it exceeds 28 days, it ticks over and says you need to pay maintenance and crew salaries and stuff like that. It's really cool. I was really chuffed with myself.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So with the time that we've had travelling and this 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks of this, would we then have an additional 4 weeks of study?
yes.
I don't know how long we did last week.
Yep, you would get at least another 3 days of study, another 3 study periods. You can't really count the time on board the Glisten for study because you were engaged in other activities.
So pretty much 28 weeks.
Yeah, so that
I'm going to have to spend some of mine. I've got 12 weeks towards study period, and you only need 8.
Yeah.
I've got 28.
Yeah, I'm
You're not pausing it yet.
Okay. So is your plan then? So the plan is to go what? Vice drop Matey Boy off Lydia Pagaton, or abandon Matey Boy in Aki, tell him to get his own way home, and head to Pagaton that way.
No, let's take him home. Go to Lydia.
Okay.
Is there any particular shopping or equipment we want to pick up before we head off?
You're in a tech level 9 place at the moment, so you
Wait until we're in a higher place.
But my point
Yeah.
is, if we're going to port over in Overnail, Kalia, Melior,
You got binges, which tech level
Binges.
8. Is it high?
Binges is pretty high.
say techno level?
Tech level A.
Starport A. I don't know what the tech level is.
Tech level 1.
No, that's no good.
Isn't that you've just invented fire?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
We can keep warm.
Okay, that sucks. Let's try that.
Yeah, Binges is tech level. Oh no, Binges is tech level A, which is an interstellar community, which translates in the book to. Well, it's technically it's early stellar,
Oh,
Which
so it's
means-
low level I was looking at, sorry.
which means they drink wife beater. So it's tech level 10.
Well, it gives our new cloth armour.
That would get you your cloth armor, yes.
So how much was it that we made? 196 or 195?
When you would finally get
194.
to Haggerton and sell the freight, you would make 194,000 profit.
Let's see for. Okay. Yeah, I did type it into the thing, and because it was popped out, it didn't save anything.
Yeah, after expenses are not quite right, but for now, 194k. It's probably more likely to be about 190 or about 189 because what I haven't coded into my little app is your docking fees.
Docking fees and stuff.
Yeah.
That's 8.
Need to go and put some clothes in the dryer, so AFK for 2 minutes.
I thought about just he needs to put some clothes on then.
I thought he was going to say that.
He could come back naked and he's put his, he's been sat there in wet clothes all the time.
Yeah.
Or he's just pissed himself and that's why he's put him in the
Old man.
Yeah.
What is going on with this?
Just realised I just pissed myself and put him in the dryer. It'll stink, but it'll be dry.
I don't know what's going on here, but it
That's
won't save
vile.
anything.
What's up, Kath?
It doesn't seem to want to save anything that's in my notes.
Oh. Are the notes broken?
You've got to click the savey thing at the top.
I did. Yeah, I am doing, and it's not saving it. Right, let's close the character sheet and reopen it.
I usually just edit and then change the tab. Usually save.
Yeah, it's. Hang on, that's not it. I was wondering what the hell was going on then. It's opened the garnet. When I clicked on C for character sheets, it's opened the garnets instead of me.
Oh.
Now, let's see. Change 9 to 12, and then click on save. Nope, it's still ignoring me.
It might have been broke. Yeah, he might have broken it. There was an update that I applied, so
Yeah, this is just my character sheet. Clicking on edit under biography.
Oh, mine worked and saved.
Mine
what
lets me type it in and everything, but as soon as I click on save, it goes back to what it was.
well,
I've
you've
updated
got
my study week, so
You've got 15k credits from Vlem Beckett on your character sheet.
Yeah, I did that a few minutes ago, so it was working earlier. It's just now if I try to change 9 to 12, for example, for study period, as soon as I click on save, it goes.
That save.
Yes.
Weird, eh?
I think these
Let me refresh.
these painkillers aren't kicking in. It's really uncomfortable. So I think I'm gonna have to call it from my side, guys.
Yeah,
No
I
worries,
was.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm quite glad this worked though. So
Yeah, it's worked. It's worked.
Yeah.
It seems good. Okay, so as a group, you're basically going to go the Vice, Lydia, Pagaton route.
Yeah.
Drop off the dude, and then kind of fly onto Pagaton and go from there. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Wait for Medi to get back. All right. I hope you feel a bit better, bud.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like yesterday wasn't as bad as this. I've not been more horizontal than I was yesterday. I don't think.
You've not
spent a
moved
lot-
it. You've not spasmed and moved it suddenly, have you? And it's just
No,
twisted a little
I've
bit.
not caught it on anything that I can think of.
It's just tissue healing that's going to cause the pain.
Yeah, healing hurts. Do you know what I mean? It does hurt. So I'm expecting it to be painful. But yeah, it's
My elbow still kills me, and it's nothing compared to what you had.
yeah, it's not pleasant. That's for certain. I think I'm gonna call the doctor tomorrow and see whether I can get any
Stronger painkillers.
Well, no, I'm not taking my strong painkillers. That's the thing. I've got some liquid morphine here, but
Yeah, that's on that.
I don't want
to. Haven't you sold that yet?
Pardon? Yeah.
Haven't you sold it?
No, I've got some liquid morphine. I've got some codeine phosphate, so I could take those. But
Don't go cocaine, go codeine.
Wow.
Yeah, Oromorph's much stronger than codeine because Dad's on it for waiting for a new knee operation.
Yeah.
So he's got to take that to just be able to sleep.
It definitely took the edge off in hospital. That's for certain. But yeah, that was with somebody else giving it. I'd be giving it myself here. Sort of out of a bottle, and I'm like, yeah, could end up killing myself here.
Yeah, got to be careful.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you did you you're not going a route round that gives you your highest your highest tech level is 4, so
It's fine. We can do without the extra cloth armor
for now.
Yeah.
Wow. I could also open Discord through. Sorry, I can open Discord, but it's through a browser, not through an app.
That's quite cool.
So that might. Does it not?
Well, that's pretty freaking good. I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, I'm getting lots of spam that I lack permission to update items.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing.
I know. Good, isn't it? Wow.
I must have had probably about 15 different messages popped up then.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Okay. All right. So over the next sort of 3 weeks or so, you journey around sort of anti-clockwise around sort of the 2 jump loop. You head up to Vice where you drop off your charge, and he promises that the material that he pulled together from the conference, etc., he will send you over a copy of the
footage.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
the-
sure
the-
Brent will love to watch that documentary.
The
Yeah,
documentary.
That's right.
Before he does anything else with it, sell it on or anything like that.
Just out of curiosity, was there any footage of Omicron in it? Or did they actually
Redacted.
keep it
hard.
away from that?
Oh, that whole sequence is not on any of the recordings.
Didn't think it would be, but
Yes, that whole section. There's a lot in the documentary and commentary about the captain of so-called knowledge.
yeah, and the fact that he's now been arrested, maybe, just to give.
Or not been seen.
Enemy
Yeah.
of humanity.
Hasn't been seen for a while. Yeah. From Vice,
Catch you guys next week.
Catch you later, bud. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
He jumps from you jump from Vice to Lydia. Lydia is a bit of a this is a bit of a shithole.
I don't want to say it's a shithole, but it's a shit.
Yeah.
It's a backwater, isn't it?
Well, technology level 7, there is no law level at all. It's a self-perpetuating oligarchy with tens of thousands of population. I believe they are, for the most part,
Pirates.
No. It's just a small population, and there's no real industry. About 100, just shy of 100,000 people. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing for you to do on Lydia other than fill your ship with fuel and get the hell out of Dodge, and transition from Imperial space out into non-Imperial space in District 268. The journey onwards gets you to Patagon. Patagon is almost a water world. About 90% of the planet is covered in water with a standard atmosphere. There are 900 million or so inhabitants divided among a great many small nations and enclaves. Government type is balkanization. The average tech level is 4, some areas higher, some areas lower. What else could you learn about it as you approach? The usable land spread out amongst island groups and microcontinents. There was never room for a higher population than what it has. It seems, according to your codex and your encyclopedia, that the planet has been heading towards a deep ice age for several hundred, if not thousands, of years, and the planet went from being a very highly self-sustainable planet with a good level of kind of technology level, and has been regressing downwards as the ice age has taken more and more hold on the planet. Yeah, so it seemed like a promising garden world in about the year 400. By the year 800, it was destined for collapse. Very little external funding, especially because it's not an imperial world. And so it's relied on trying to chart its own course and destination and handouts from the Scout Service or the Colonial Office. Yeah, that's about it. Arriving in system. It would do if it wasn't ice. A lot of it is ice. But yes, it does mean free fuel. Yes.
If only we had a laser turret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only you had. Well, no. There is parts of the planet that is still truly water and not iced. So because fishing is still a fairly common and big industry on the planet's surface, although it's currently going through a fishing war.
If only we had a laser turret.
If only you had a mystery.
Help to resolve this laser war, this fishing war.
Arriving in orbit, you're greeted by Pagaton's starport, a poor affair that seems to have been created out of several old freighter fuel tanks linked by gantries, kept in stable orbit by what appears to be a collection of cobbled together Starship maneuver drive components. Whilst you, being used to something a little bit more upmarket, highbrow, this is definitely a step down to a lot of the places that you visited. There is a downport located on an island in the Gippsland group, where you can go and take the ship down if you wish. Or you could attempt to locate Respis itself and try and figure out if you can land at Respis. You would drop the cargo off at Starport.
Yeah, let's. So, try and find out where Respis is. See if it's easy enough to get to.
Okay.
With it being as small as it is, I guess most people would know a few places, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Respis seems to be about 50 kilometers inland from the downport.
What's the shuttle we've got?
So,
Your
a raft.
shuttle is a raft, but it is, I believe it is. Oh, you have to wear your vac, don't you, to travel in space in your raft? Because it doesn't have
Got an atmosphere.
doesn't
Jesus,
have an atmosphere now.
sounds safe. What is a raft when it's at home?
It's a grav car.
Ah, okay. I can fly grav. I'm pretty good.
It's technically, it's also not orbit capable.
No, but we're going to land at downport, aren't we?
And then take the
Yeah.
raft. Yeah. Now that's absolutely fine. And you wouldn't need to wear a vac suit there because the atmosphere is a standard atmosphere. It's just cold. So yeah, you would need. Law level appears to be category 3. So machine gun
still sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It's my armor, effectively, at the moment.
Yeah.
I need to go shopping for some decent stuff at some point.
Backsuit's not bad, to be fair, looking at most of the stuff.
No. No,
Okay.
it just feels a bit strange walking through a town or a city wearing a vac suit rather than.
Well, with spaces,
Yeah.
they used to
Yeah.
that kind of shit.
True.
You arrive at the starport, mooring your ship to the starport, and then wait for. It's probably a good day before you get the cargo transferred off the ship. You get the impression that nothing here runs at a highly efficient pace.
It just kind
Shitty.
of gets done. A
It
bit.
just gets done. After after probably 18 or so hours, your cargo is offloaded, the paperwork is signed, and the Imperial credits are transferred to your accounts. So you may increase your total of money by 194,000.
Yeah.
You do get the sense that taking stuff back from here might be a little bit more of a challenge, and there will probably be less available for you. And it might be fish.
Yeah, is there any way to make sure that it's frozen so we don't stink out the whole ship?
Oh, it might
Well,
be
yeah,
fun.
if we take it on the raft, it'll definitely be frozen because
It
apparently
might be, yeah.
the raft is orbital.
Yeah.
You just do need to wear a vac suit.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is orbital. You take the time to kind of study the atmosphere conditions and the planetary conditions. It is, as you expect, bitterly cold. The downpour itself, its location on an island in the Gilpin group, seem on a fairly, I mean, the island's not a small island. It's probably 100, 150 kilometers from one end to the other, maybe 80, 90 kilometers in the other direction. The island itself appears to be battered by frequent storms and is currently in the midst of a rather harsh winter. Significant amounts of snow and ice in the vicinity. Heading down to the planet. As you approach the planet, you get basically a computer incoming ship, designate, provide docking information, ship size, category, purpose of visit.
Yeah, provide the sizes and things.
Clearance granted. Docking ring 3. Report to, I want to say immigration. It's not actually called immigration. Report to arrivals terminal.
Arrivals processing terminal.
Yes. Report to the arrivals terminal on docking. Carver brings a ship down, glides it down, and lands in docking bay 3. Again, it seems that the usual kind of maintenance crews that kind of come and check things out, make sure, attach docking clamps, etc., take a little bit longer than you expect. You see these kind of figures, these humans in very heavy overcoat, heavy overalls, thick boots, kind of stomp and trudge out of a couple of buildings out onto the dock, and they start to go about their business. As you kind of descend down, you are greeted at your airlock by a perfunctory official who asks to see your papers.
Your papers,
Shit.
mate.
Ship's papers, by the way, not your papers.
Okay. Yeah, we'll show them.
It scans them. Looks at ownership, maintenance period, ownership, any cargo that you're bringing, and then just hands them back. And he smiles. He just says, "Welcome, welcome. Please check in at the arrivals terminal, and you may go about your business."
Yeah.
Heading down to the arrivals terminal. A couple of things that you notice. Terminal building, you see what appears to be at least a couple of pop-up turrets. And when you kind of go into the terminal, you notice that there are probably 1.5 guards to every staff member in the building.
Had some trouble recently?
Just the usual. No, not an anarchy vibe. No. This is very much a backwater place, and you do know that corsairs and pirates will generally try and raid these kind of places for goods, fuel, etc. And so
Did we notice any orbital defenses?
you didn't.
Hmm.
Give me you. You've got military, haven't you? Do we have?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got tactics,
Give me
space.
a-
Got tactics, military.
Tactics space is probably not the right one. If you've just if you've got
Naval, sorry.
tactics naval, tactics military, both of those are fine.
Snap.
Okay. Hoshiko and Marcus, you kind of both glance at these guards, and you kind of glance at the turrets and things on the building. You realize, and same with Brent actually, all of you realize that no, you didn't see any orbital defenses. Therefore, whilst you notice that, first of all, the turrets themselves seem to be targeted outwards rather than upwards. And you suspect that actually the deterrent is against attacks by locals rather than off-worlders.
Well, they mentioned the fishing war, so how local is it?
So it's balkanization, which I believe means it's lots of little governments. So you would probably describe the Earth as balkanization, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I would think, yeah.
So would respite be part of this sort of defense, or would we be going into hostile territory type things to get over there?
As far as you could tell from your encyclopedia, it's about 50 kilometers north of of the downport. So you'd be well out of range of these turrets.
Yeah.
Respite.
Yeah. Are you on friendly terms?
Oh no, yeah, no, you shouldn't do. It's part of our government, yes. I know they're a friendly bunch of farmers. You'll be taking the train then, yes? Yes.
Sounds ideal. I mean, we were going to use our raft, but
No, well, you could definitely take your raft.
any
But
local requirements for that? Or?
just don't crash it. Our ability to rescue you might be limited.
Just pointing at the turrets. Any kind of flight plan we need to organise, or
No, none at all.
sounds okay.
What weapons are we allowed to carry here then?
This is machine guns, automatic rifles are prohibited. So it's a law level 3.
Okay.
Uh,
I need to get a
so,
better pistol. I'm never able to use my rifle.
yeah. What does that mean? Law level
Means
3.
I'm leaving my Gauss rifle behind.
Does mean you're leaving your
Yeah.
Gauss rifle behind. Yes. Yeah, military weapons are banned. So you...
I've got a sidearm, man. That's fine.
Military weapons. It's
Yeah.
tech level 3. Light assault weapons and submachine guns all banned. So shotgun is fine. Bladed weapons, stunners, personal concealable weapons, so pistols that can be hidden are also acceptable. Military weapons, portable energy and laser weapons, poison gas, explosives, weapons of mass destruction are all banned. You cannot take your mini nuke.
Put it back in my safe then,
Yeah.
inside the oil laundry.
Okay.
Well, it's the oil laundry's got guaranteed 1,000 years lifetime, or one significant wash.
Yeah, so give me a fly grab vehicle roll, please.
I think you probably can take your pistol, can't you?
Yeah, you can take
Not
the pistol.
like large laser.
Yeah.
Grav. I've got fly grav. Oh well, you're flying, I guess. Can I correct your flying? No,
Yeah.
you fly like this.
Yeah, you would need to take the -2 chain bonus into consideration. It still gives you an average success. So, okay. Despite a
Have you
slightly
been drinking again, Brent?
yeah,
Jesus.
very quickly as you leave the downpour and head out in your grab vehicle, you get disorientated in kind of a whiteout snowstorm, and before you realize it, when you kind of come out the other end of the snowstorm, you're over sort of water, which according to your flight plan should not be the case, and you realize that you've been traveling sort of more westwards than northwards, and so it's kind of taking you out over the end of the island and out over the sea. So you correct, with a little bit of poking and jiggery from Hashiko, you correct your path and your pattern, and you approach Respite. Every now and then when you kind of glance down from your grav car, you can see the railroad. The railroad seemed to run sort of straight across the island, stopping at a number of places. The town of Respite appears, from where you are, to be a typical small town. Approaching the area, you can see what looks like several dozen abandoned, derelict buildings. The buildings that appear to be inhabited, take up a small portion of all of the buildings around the area. The town itself lies about halfway up the side of a shallow valley. To the northeast, the land rises more steeply. You kind of come in from the southwest. A series of ridges lie to the east with the rail line running between them. And a ridge to the northeast of the town is screened by scraggy forest of pine-like trees. Down in the valley, there is a small covering of snow, but kind of halfway up and where Respis is and up onto the top of the mountains, you can see quite a significant snowfall has settled. In the distance, you can see one of the trains kind of coming in, pushing the snow off, the falling snow off the tracks with huge snow plows. It looks to your trained eyes, well, you're not that trained actually, but it looks to your eyes that Respis is very much a failing town. Would once have been way more grand, a lot grander, a lot more activity, probably very self-sufficient, living off the farms that you can see that have been abandoned on the vast edges of the town itself. It's hard to tell how the people sort of survive and live today. Well, no, it's not. There are herds of sheep grazing the higher grounds, or sheep-like creatures. Let's have a look. Give you a quick look at this, but I think we're probably going to call it here. But before we do, this is what you are greeted with. Looking at it from a distance, I will give you a quick kind of overview of kind of what areas you can see. This is technically the north side. I thought the map was rotated incorrectly. This looks like a train station. This side of the track seems to be a little more derelict, covered in snow, roof collapsed. This side, though, appears to be much more in use. You have this area here. Appears to be a very well-maintained stone building. And you can see there appears to be an elevator which runs from here through to there. Vast majority of houses that are populated appear to be in this vicinity. This seems to be a big frozen watery area. Valley here. You can see, this is where you see a lot of the remains of farms and farmsteads amongst craggy grass and stands of bushes. Upper Valley.
The assumption it's just too cold now to effectively farm.
Correct, yeah. Respis High Ridge. And the rail yard. Yeah, so you bring yourself in on your grav car, kind of following the tracks in, because that seems to be the easiest place to get in, and you can find somewhere fairly straightforward to park your grav vehicle. But there is no prepared area for ships, basically. So your raft, your grav raft, you're basically looking for somewhere to just park it that would allow you to then kind of head into town. And I think at that point we're going to call it a night. I'm tired tonight for some reason, so we'll call it there. As you arrive and you kind of disembark from your grav raft and kind of take everything in, your next task is to try and find a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Find a payphone as he looks through the phone book.
Indeed. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.